Hello and welcome to the BEC podcast. I'm Mark Phelan here with you again, and I'm joined by Marcus Ellis and Lauren Smith from England. These guys have kindly joined us, and we're going to have a little discussion today about English badminton. And the big news over the last year was the funding cut, guys. Firstly, thanks very much for joining us, and secondly, congratulations on your Dutch win. Super stuff. But Marcus, I'll come to you first. This funding cut came as a big shock to everyone in the badminton world, and you guys had just won an Olympic medal, and then this news came shortly after. What was that like for you at that point to hear that news?
Yeah, I mean, we went for 3 months where after the Olympics, everything was amazing. We thought we were going to get continued support from the government, and it was quite an exciting place to be at the National Centre. Everyone was really looking forward to the future. Because we knew there was a lot of pressure on us going to that Olympics, because we had gone to previously we hadn't delivered, so we knew there was a lot of pressure. We did go there and deliver, and to find out, I think it was a couple of weeks before Christmas, that it had been cut. Our performance director just called us all upstairs, and he told us, we're not getting any support anymore, effective from the beginning of March, I think it was the following year. So. He was almost in tears telling us, and everyone was absolutely gutted, because we knew the consequences of what were going to follow. So it was going to be drastic changes, but I think also it was going to be, no one really knew what was going to happen. We didn't know if they could support us at all. Would we just have to support ourselves? And I think that was, going into Christmas, that were the questions people were asking themselves.
Yeah. The news comes, you spend some time thinking about the news, and then the cuts will come inevitably, players getting cut, etc., etc. You guys survived that cut. Lauren, how did you adapt then? What things did you have to change in your own life and in your sporting life to adapt to these major financial changes?
I think a lot of it was, it was quite a long transitional period in the end, because you had the players kind of gradually leaving, staff leaving, and a lot of things like our physio support went, and so we had to kind of get very self-sufficient with that sort of thing. Same with the weights coach and all the kind of little extra bits that give you kind of maybe marginal gains. We lost, and so we needed to find a way to cope with that. The whole setup and system changed, and it was just up in the air, so it was difficult to kind of get on and look forward, because you weren't sure what it looked like at all. But I think what the kind of 13 players that were still there did is really came together as a group and just kind of dug our heels in a little bit and stuck in with it. And yeah, financially we've got a lot of players now that are having to coach, finding money from different sponsors. We're booking our own tournaments now. So it's quite different. Normally we'd all stay in the same place. Now we're kind of dotted all over the place in B&Bs, and so it's been quite different. There's a lot of change. Some of it is actually quite positive, I think. Some of it's been difficult, but once we get used to it, we'll manage, we'll cope. So it's been tough, but we're getting on with it.
Marcus, do you think it has made you a stronger person? Do you think, let's put it out there. When England were fully funded, you had almost the best of everything. You would see it at the major tournaments, all psychologists, masseurs with you, etc. Now you're doing this for yourself. Has it made you a more resilient person? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think I agree with you. Since I've been in the system, I'm sure a lot of people would agree. Not just the British lot, but people who are abroad would maybe say that maybe we were spoon-fed a little bit, and I think we never actually realised how lucky we were to have all these services, day in, day out at tournaments, like you say. And yeah, I think we were very lucky, and to lose that, it's like something we'd never known. Ever since I was 17 or 18, I came to the Badminton Centre in Milton Keynes, and that was all I've seen. And that, the funding was, I didn't realise that's what the funding was all about. All that money, it goes into all these little things, but all these little things do cost a lot of money. But we see so many other countries managing, doing their own thing, and it is still possible. We're not in badminton for the money or anything like that. We're in it because we love it, and we just want to get to the end of our career and say we've done the best we can. So it's been getting our head around it really. But I think we are starting to get there. I think the players at the Badminton Centre now are trying to push on and think, right, we've just got to get results now. It's not about anything else. We can't complain. We can't change anything. We've just kind of got to get on with what we have.
We certainly have to tip our hats because the results have come. You know,
Yeah.
we saw what Chris and Gabby and Raj did at the Europeans, and you know, that was a statement. Probably you would feel, Badminton England, and you guys would feel that was a statement to the people who may have cut the funding that we can still achieve. And does that drive you on more, knowing that you know, you can do it? Have you bigger motivation now, Lauren, to really go on and achieve?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've all always wanted to achieve. At no point have we gone on kind of been like, oh, we'll just, you know, see how it goes. We've always been motivated to compete at a world level. But definitely since the funding's gone, I think we've shown that the training, the thought that we've put into what we're doing, and the thought that's the tournament plans and things like that has really been so precise because we know it has to be. And so I think if you look at, Chris and Gabby getting medals at Worlds, and that's like really shows like we are competing at a world level with their Europeans the same. But then also like some of the younger players are getting results now as well. So you've got Ben and Jess doing really well, Tom and Briggs winning Canada. There's kind of results across the board, and it just shows, it kind of, as much as it proves them wrong, that's not what we're trying to do. We just want to do it because, like Mark says, we love playing badminton. We want to be the competitive nation, and people want to fear us on court, and that's always been the case. But it is nice at the same time to say, you know what, you said we couldn't do it, but here we are. We're still really strong.
You've come up, you know, you guys have come through the juniors with everything there for you, and it's taken away. What advice would you give now to the younger ones? Because they're coming in, and they're coming in from a pretty low base in terms of financial support. What advice, Marcus, you know, can you give to those young ones coming through the system? They're out there now in Indonesia, playing some World Junior Badminton. What could you tell them to motivate them?
Well, I think I think the funding cut will hit them the hardest, because I think we're getting to the point of our career where we've reaped the rewards of the funding now, and we're starting, you know, myself, Lauren, Raj, Chris, Gab, you know, we've had these 10 years of you know, amazing support, and we're starting to see the results. But the guys who are just starting out at, you know, like you said, 16, 17 years old, you know, they've got to start with something that, you know, we're not sure about, but actually they are investing a lot of time and effort, and the limited money that Badminton England do have, they're really trying to get a junior program together, which I think it's absolutely crucial, and I think they're showing how well they're playing, and actually we've got a few good juniors coming through, which I think is promising. If I were to give some advice to them, I would say that they need to be in the environment that we're in as much as possible, because you know, we are a relatively small group. So, you know, the more we can stick together, I'd say they need to see how it's done, what it looks like, and the more they can see that, the better.
Is it fair to say, Lauren, in your opinion, do you think that, you know, what we will see from your juniors coming through is the ones who really, really wanted will get there, and as a result, those guys and girls who really, really wanted will end up performing at a very high level?
Yeah, I think you can never overlook like hard work and a bit like hunger for it. So you'll get them coming through, and if they really want it, they'll find a way. And it's going to be more difficult than maybe we had it at that age. But at the same time, we've kind of shown as a group at the top that we can still find ways to do it without the funding. So what they need to do is kind of follow that suit. And you know, if they need to come to us and ask some questions about certain things, we're more than happy to kind of help and be there, because we want the future of badminton to be good just as much as we want badminton to be good now. So I think hunger and determination and drive and a bit of grit will get them very far.
How important now, Marcus, is your federation? You know, they have a lot of hard work to do, I guess. You know, they have to try and go out there and secure external sponsors. This is a key period for them. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's been a very tough year for them. As Lauren said earlier, they've had to you know, take some staff out of the programme, obviously loads of players, and they've had to change the way the business works, you know, even how they make money, etc. So I think it's taken this long to even get things in place, and things are still changing now. They're doing their very best to obviously keep that apart from the performance side, I think they're doing a very good job of that. I think going forward, they do have some options about how they can utilise what they do have. So I'm not too negative about it. I think there is a positive future, and if we keep going the way we are doing, and we have to show some fight, I think we might get to a certain support we had before. Obviously looking a few years down the line.
Yeah, well, we can see the way you're playing on court. The positivity is there, and the will and the drive to win is there. How hard? Last question, and I'll let you go. How hard is it to keep that motivation? You go home at night to your lovely wife, and you go home, and how hard is it to stay happy all the time, knowing that things are a little bit rocky underneath? How is it a difficult thing?
I think that's just sport in general. I think that's probably something that's always been there, whether we had funding or not. You'd have good days of training, bad days of training, good matches, bad matches. I'd say when it first happened, it was difficult to stay motivated. I think you could see that maybe a little bit through the players and the staff, a little bit lost at sea, but we kind of came back together and we found a way. And so as much as that's the case, it can be difficult to motivate. It's not something that we dwell on, because it's just, like I say, it's every day of a sports person, isn't it? You have your ups and downs, and you just have to get on with it, and that's where you get the strongest players come through.
And it's made you stronger as a group. It clearly has, as a high-performance group in England. Guys, thank you for joining us and talking about this subject, because it's not an easy thing to do at times. Sometimes you want to forget about it and get on with the badminton, I know that, but these things are crucial also, and we thank you for taking the time to join us. Make sure that you follow these guys also on their social media platforms. They're very active, of course, on social media. And don't forget, Badminton Europe, we're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. Thank you.